Welcome to Wild Arrow Outdoors. I'm Joe, and here with me is, as always, is Steve. And Steve got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot going on in the archery world right now.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, so I think over the last couple weeks we've had the Collegiate Outdoor Nationals. We've also had in the World Archery the World Cup Stage Two over in Korea. I think that just wrapped up, or is in the process of wrapping up. We also had, I think, last weekend or the weekend before, we had an IBO over in West Virginia at
Yep.
Pipestem, and next weekend coming up, we've got the ASA, the fourth stop in the
Yep.
ASA tour in London, Kentucky. So all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so I have not been shooting those other ones you mentioned, but I am getting ready for London. And then
Yeah.
your daughter shot the Collegiate Nationals. How did she finish up?
Yeah, she did well. So the event that they were shooting for Collegiate Outdoor Nationals was the FIDA round. So it's for the compound division. They're at 50 meters or 55 yards at the single spot face. Not her, not her favorite event. She doesn't typically shoot a lot of FIDA. Growing up, we never shot FIDA. And so it's a discipline that's still fairly new to her. She's only been shooting FIDA since she started college, really. But she did well. She qualified. I want to say she qualified 12th, and but she ended up shooting very well in the elimination matches. She took fourth overall individually. She made it to the bronze medal match. Um, and Yeah, so she came up a little short in that bronze medal match, but shooting against some strong shooters.
There's some
Um,
some very good talent.
yeah, her teammate Kimber Wheeler, who we are hoping to get on the podcast here sometime in the next couple weeks, but Kimber, she ended up winning the individual gold for the Cumberlands, and she also set a new national record with her qualifying score. She shot a 685. That beat out the previous record holder was Madison Cox back in 2021 when she was still shooting pins. She had shot a 684 qual score. So Kimber has that new national record. And Kimber, she's great. Kimber hails from, I think, Craig, Colorado, and she's been on a mad tear in FIDA. She won the individual gold at the Mid South Conference Championships a couple weeks prior to going to nationals. And just funny. She she was the one. Just the way the brackets work out. Ayla ran up against Kimber at conference and at nationals, and Kimber beat her both times. But um, I'm anxious to talk to Kimber. She's a sweetheart. She's a
Yep.
great kid and just an amazing talent. It's fun to watch her shoot a bow. So it'll be really fun to get Kimber on and talk to her a little bit
Yeah,
about
looking
her
forward to
archery
that.
journey. But yeah, she's great. So Ayla, she shot her way into the bronze medal match for individuals, and then um, she had the opportunity to shoot in the women's team event. Um, One of her teammates, she she technically qualified fourth on her team in placement. Um, her one of her teammates beat her by 110. She had one more 10 than Ayla did, so she technically qualified. Cami Schumann, and Cami didn't want to shoot in the gold medal match for the women's team. She asked if Ayla would sub in for her. She wasn't feeling good that day, and she wanted to, you know, it was a real sportsman thing to do. It was very good of Cammy to offer up her spot because those spots don't come easy and they
Right.
don't come often. And she wanted to give the team the best chance to win, and so she talked to the coaches and asked if Ayla could shoot in her place, which she did, and they ended up winning the women's team gold. So that was a that was a good accomplishment there. And Ayla also, with her qualifying score, also got her second All American. So she's a two-time All American
That's
shooter
awesome.
now. So
Yep, proud of her.
so she was, yeah, we were very, very proud of her. My wife and son had the opportunity to fly down and watch her shoot for the weekend. So that was really cool. I think that was the first time my son has had a chance to see Ayla in competition. So that was, and he also celebrated his 19th birthday. So
Cool.
they, it was, it was good that they were able to be there to watch her shoot. I'm hoping to be able to travel in October to go down to Foley to watch Ayla defend her national title in 3D in the fall. So I've been kind of, that's why I didn't go down to Georgia Southern. I had the tournament here that I was competing in myself, but I'm also trying to pick and choose what days I'm away from work, So I really wanted to be there for Foley, so I decided to pass on going to Statesboro this year. And so yeah, so she did well. And I think there were several national records. So I think at Collegiate Outdoor, I think Sawyer Sullivan shot a new national record, beating his own. He shot a 7:16, I think 7:16 or 7:17 in quals. Um, so he beat his own previous national record. And then there was another young woman, and I cannot think of her name off the top of my head. I believe she's either a recurve or a barebow shooter, and I believe she also set a new national record for qualifications. So,
There were some
it just
solid
speaks to the
scores in the
level of
women's
talent.
barebow. Oh, yeah. There were some
Oh
amazing
yeah, I mean,
scores coming up.
yeah. I guess the other big news that comes out of Collegiate Outdoor Nationals is that the University of Cumberlands did not win the overall team. Texas A&M won the team title, um, and so I know that was from Ayla's perspective. That left a few of them a little salty. That's always
Yeah, that's
been
even
a
like when
pretty
you
pretty good rivalry.
yeah, when you start even looking like the Collegiate 3D Nationals, I mean, you've been there, you've seen that, Texas A&M is always right there in the top 4, in any of the disciplines. I mean, they're a solid, solid team. But yeah, for, Cumberland's to be upset, that says something there also.
Yeah, I think where Cumberland struggled this year a little bit, at least what I can see looking at the overall results, it was it was in their barebow and their Olympic recurve. In past years, they've put up quite a few points, and I know last year, I think in barebow they had several people that shot their way into those, gold, silver, bronze medal matches, and that's, just if you're just straight up looking at the scoring results by division, that's where you see they gave up
Yep,
quite a few points this year. um, but yeah, men's and women's compound and fixed pins were both pretty solid for the
yep,
school.
solid.
But yeah,
Well, cool.
yeah, so
Congratulations to her.
yeah, no, we're really happy. I don't think I think she surprised herself. I think she kind of went into that with low expectations. She was going into that event, that tournament. Ayla was sitting right on the cut line for the All American team because they take the top 10, and she was number 11. and so she needed to have a really good qual round to give herself a chance at getting enough points to make it over the line, and, yeah, she shot a new PB. I mean, she beat her previous year's score, I think, by, like, 28 or 30 points from what she shot last year.
That's
So, um, you know and that's kind of the approach that
she
she
earned it.
takes, especially
Yeah,
for FIDA. She goes into it with, I think, some lower expectations, but really, as far as performance, that's how she measures herself, is how did she shoot last year, and did
right.
she show improvement year over year? That's really where
And
she's
that's
trying
that's
to,
what archery is all
so,
about, isn't it? You
she
know, we're in competition with herself all the time. You always want to be at the top of that platform, but at the same
yeah.
time, man, am I getting better? And that's the name of the game.
Yeah, it's interesting though with the team event, right? Because um, for sure you always want to do better than your previous year, but you also have team points on the line, right? And so being able to shoot
Yep.
into those higher medal matches, that makes a big difference for the team and how the overall team performs. And so, she there's a there's there's that nuance, that additional nuance to the performance because you wanna help your team as well. So, yeah, no, it was a good outing. It was a really good outing for her, and, yeah, she's shooting really well. So,
So is she not going to be able to hit any of the upcoming ASA tournaments?
you know, I think it's still TBD. Obviously, we're not gonna make it to neither of us are gonna be able to make it to London because we've got a family obligation next weekend that we have to go to. So really, her only options are going to be to hit Metropolis and then the classic. It's going to depend on her work schedule. She's got a job working on campus
Yep.
for the summer, and so I think it's going to be a little bit of wait and see. I would love for her to get one or two under her belt before the fall season rolls around, but um, it's going to really depend on how her schedule shakes out.
And are you in the same boat then? Any ASAs coming up for you?
He If I had
All right, we just had a little bit of a technical glitch due to storms in the area where I'm at right now. So, yeah, Joe, I just asked if you had any plans for hitting any of the ASA tournaments this year, and that's when lightning struck.
that that might have been the sign right there, yeah,
That's your
so,
sign.
um, I don't know, it's if I were to have to say right now, I would say that the likelihood is probably fairly slim only because, uh, honestly, I haven't really put in any I can't even tell you the last time I even shot at a Delta McKenzie target. I mean, I've got 9 of them hanging in the storage bins in my garage, and, I haven't shot at a Delta target in a long time. I would say that if I were to go to an ASA right now, it would be more of a social event than it would be than more than a competitive outing because I could say I certainly wouldn't be coming in well prepared. So that's
That's
kinda
sad.
kinda where I'm at. It is,
I want to
believe
beat you
me.
when you're at your best.
Yeah, well, um, I mean, I'm shooting okay in the things that I'm shooting, but lately, none of those things have really been 3D. We had our indoor 3D, I don't know, a couple months ago now, um, but I haven't like I said, I haven't taken a good look at a Delta McKenzie target downrange in a very, very long time.
So I'm looking forward to London coming up next week. I've been working really hard. I've been doing some tinkering with my bow. I changed around some of my weights on my front and back bar, and I found out that made a difference for me. I was holding pretty good. Now I feel like I'm holding even better. Surprisingly, I took a lot of weight off, and I I got less weight on my bow now than I've probably ever had on it. And I don't know. I think it's
Really?
me. Part of my yeah. I think it's part of my physical disabilities with the stroke arm trying to hold the bow up. Um, I have trouble. I can get my bow. I can get on target, get full draw, get settled in, and I can be rock solid. And then I got about a second and a half to 2 seconds, and then my left arm wants to start moving around on me too much. And so I just started thinking about it not too long ago. Where I thought, again, I feel like strength wise, yes, I can hold it. I just don't have those fine motor skills to really keep my arm as still as I need it to be. So I thought, well, we'll just take some weight off and see what happens. See if that helps me hold it still longer. And man, I don't even know how much I took off. I took off like 5 ounces off the front and like 8 or 9 ounces off the back. And I am.
Wow, that is a lot.
It's a lot. I had to readjust my sights because my pins were off quite a bit, from taking that much weight off. And but man, I'm holding steadier now than I have in a long time. Um, that combined with I've been doing a lot of training on the mental side of things. I feel like mentally, I feel like I'm stronger now than I've ever been with a bow. But physically, definitely stronger now than I've been in the last 2 years. And so I'm just looking forward to see what happens. Going into it, state of Missouri right now, I'm sitting ranked number one in shooter of the year standings. And then at the big ASA tournaments, I'm sitting in fourth right now for shooter of the year. So to come from where I was 2 years ago, where I couldn't even pick up a bow, and then last year finished in the top 10, and that just lit another fire under my butt that I still say it to this day. Somebody will outshoot me, but nobody's going to outwork me. And so I'm just
Yep.
excited to take this attitude that I have about it. And again, I'm not being cocky or arrogant at all, but I'm happy with myself. I'm pleased with where I'm at right now and the work I've put into it. And I'm just ready to get back out there on the line and compare my skills with everybody else's again.
Well, it makes a big difference when you show up at the tournament grounds with confidence,
Yep,
that you're confident in your equipment, and you're confident that you've put in the reps and you're comfortable with, where your bow's hitting. You can come in with a strategy. It's that difference in mindset where, you know, um, it's the difference in thinking, geez, I really hope I hit the 10 ring versus I'm gonna take this one and cut the upper quadrant of the
yep,
12 ring, right?
yep.
It's, you know, it's that no, just having that level of confidence in where your arrows are hitting and how your equipment is performing makes a huge, huge difference. And that's where I say, because I haven't been focused on shooting the Delta McKenzie targets. If I were to go into if I ended up showing up and shooting well, it would be luck. It would be a lot of luck. I mean, my shot's good, but I really haven't put in the time with those targets. So, could I cobble something together? Maybe. Um, I could tell you this, I wouldn't come into it with any nerves because my expectations would be very, very low.
Oh, that's funny.
Like I said, it would at this juncture right now, if I were to show up, it would be more of a social outing than it would be an archery competition. I wouldn't be coming into it with a highly competitive spirit. And you know, yeah, you always want to shoot good, but um, if I didn't shoot well, I would certainly know why. Um,
I've been working
but
really hard
yeah, I don't know.
with the So I've been working really hard with the shot process. I know how to shoot a bow. I think we all know how to shoot bows. But to get that shot process down to a fine-tuned, well-oiled machine and then follow that recipe for every single shot without anything else distracting you or pulling your attention away from where you need to be at. Can you do that 20 times in a row each day that you're out there? And I feel like for the first time that I should be able to step on the line and peel out 20 good shots in a row. So
Yep.
I'm excited to try it. So we'll see.
And well, and I think the other thing that you've been doing that's really good is all of those state qualifiers you've been shooting because you've been, there's the only way to really simulate a competitive environment is to put yourself in competitive environments,
In a competitive
right?
environment. Yep.
There's, that immersion it makes all the difference. And, the more you put yourself into those tournaments and force yourself into that tournament mindset, it's going to pay dividends. Um, that's where you do all your learning, right? So I think that's been a big part of your road to success as well,
Yeah, there is a big difference between going out and shooting a tournament versus standing in the yard shooting at a target. It is not the same kind of pressure.
for sure.
I'm guessing we have an
Um,
audio drag here somewhere, but
yeah, I think there's a little bit of a delay going on,
eh,
but yeah. So
we're still here.
so you've got ASA coming up. So you've got
Yep.
ASA coming up. I've got a field. I'm going to be shooting a field round here up in Minot, North Dakota, in June. Um, I'm looking forward to that. It's a lot of arrows. It's a long weekend. It's a 2-day event, and you shoot 120 arrows each day.
Oof.
So it's a lot of shooting, which is good. It's definitely a marathon. It's not a sprint, but I'm still fairly new to field, but the more I shoot it, the more I enjoy it. Um, there's They've got a beautiful course up in Minot. It's got some really good elevation changes, so it gives you a lot of different looks. Um, so yeah, so we're looking forward to getting back up there. Um, yeah, I think we just had I think it was the first leg of the IBO Triple Crown that was in Pipe Stem here a week or two ago.
Mhm.
Um, so I was kind of looking through some of the results of that. Um, I think Kara took second
Mhm.
to um, Sharon Wallace.
Sharon.
Um, but yeah, lots of different things going on. And honestly, when you look at the calendar, we're not terribly far. It won't be long, Steve, we're going to be on the cusp of another hunting season. And so
Yep.
I got that new bow here a couple months ago, that PSC Shootdown Pro, and I went Friday afternoon. I went down and did a rebuild on that. Just put new strings and cables on. I bought some really nice strings and cables from our good friends at Gas Bow Strings, and got those all mounted up. And I had one of those magical days where, and this never happens, especially to me, but I put my new strings and cables on and got looking at it, boy. And I took a look at my timing marks. I said, boy, those that looks like it's right on for timing. I mean, it was right on the dimples, both top and bottom. I was like, well, that's pretty good. And no, I didn't have to put a single twist in anything. And so I got my knock sets done. I got my D loop, put my peep sight in, went out, did a test draw with the peep sight just to make sure that the height and everything was good and it was right on. So I tied the peep in, went out and put it through the paper tuner and first arrow right off the rest, perfect bullet hole, which, like I said, that almost never happens to me. So
Nope.
that was a fun day. It's I wish it was always that easy.
Yeah.
Spent a few more minutes, shot a few more arrows, and I got my pin set out to 40, and uh, and then I had to go. I ran out of time, so I didn't really have time to play around with it much more than that. But so I'm kind of anxious to get that back out again and get some more reps in it. And I need to get my I need to get my 3D targets set up in the backyard so I can start getting my early season reps in for hunting.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, let's check back in next week and try to get some updates on what else is going on in the archery world, and hopefully we do a little bit of a recap with London, how that went.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I've got a line on a couple of guests coming up.
Yep.
We're gonna talk to Kimber. We'll get Kimber on here when her calendar frees up a little bit, and I'm gonna reach out to a couple other folks, and I've got some other contacts that I'm working with. So hopefully we can get a couple other folks on here and talk about some of these other big events that we've been reading about.
Yeah, and I got a little teaser we'll throw out here too. I'm not going to mention any names. We got a big one lined up to potentially be on with us here within the next month or so. So I'm really super excited to get that individual on with us. It's going to be fun. Tease, tease. Can't mention any names yet.
Yeah, I think so too. And not yet.
Look, not
It's a
yet.
good one though,
Stay tuned. It's a good one. So, all righty, Joe. Well, have a
for
great
sure.
week, and
All right, buddy.
congratulations to your daughter for winning the All-American. That's an awesome thing.
Yeah, yeah, we're super proud of her, and we're happy to have her home for a few days.
Good deal. All right. Well, we'll talk to you next week. Have a good one.
All right.
All right.